Hello everybody and welcome to the third round of the World Touring Masters Season 4 presented by TouringProSeries, also supported as well by sim racing hardware providers of all of your cutting-edge PC racing simulation hardware. Check them out at simracinghardware.com. I'm Keith Barrick, joined by Liam Jenkins here today. How are you, Liam?
Yeah, not too bad. Excited as always to be here, and of course the last two rounds are anything to go by. This one promises some really intense action, to say the least.
Definitely, and we've had a pretty interesting season so far to start. Needless to say, Jesper Talberg has been the story the whole way through, taking both race wins so far at the start of the season, but still a little bit of a battle going on just on the way back from Talberg. So maybe give him a rundown, give the fans a rundown on the championship standings, Liam.
Yeah, my pleasure. So Toby Davis sits in second place on 52 points after just trying to pip Talberg for the past two races. Of course, qualifying's one story, but the race is another, so we'll be looking to finish both of them off today. McGregor moves up to P3 on 46 points, so not too far away behind Davis. He overtakes Chris Butcher, who currently on 42, tied with Florian Strauss. Tommy O'Chala is currently on 32 points, and he overtook the hard-charger Eric Tavares, who's on 29 at the moment. Auburn is tied on 20 with Bruno Salazar Ferreira, and William Levesque's down on 19 points, so he will be looking for a good result today to try and get his championship charge back into full swing. Ivo Simons also looks pretty competitive, so he's currently on 18 points and will be looking for a good result. David Yunt, Pereira and Azagi have all moved up in the standings on 18, 17 and 16 points respectively, and then Rivio on 11 points rounds out the top 15.
Yeah, and that's a very close battle, as you can see, between the second, well, from Davis back to Strauss. Just a few points separating these guys, and Mid-Ohio being a very difficult place to, well, get any type of passing maneuver on. We were just talking before the race started that this does at some points become almost like a single lane track. Great track to drive at, but racing is a whole other story.
Oh, indeed. It's a really scary experience. For me personally, I'm sure that any driver who goes into a track, want to go into kind of ease into it. Mid-Ohio is not one of your first rookie tracks, if you will. It really is a test of a sim racer's ability. You've got that constant swoosh, if you will. You've got the long sweeping corners, and you've got obviously those two main straights. And then going on from that, you've got that tight and twisty bit in the middle where effectively as you go over the crest of the hill just before turn 5, the car becomes completely weightless. And if you don't have your instincts about you, it's so easy. As you see there, William Levesque go over the hill I was talking about. And again, twitching left. But that's what I was saying just a few seconds ago, that the car does come weightless. And if you're not careful, it can just so easily spear in the other direction. I'm sure we could see a few fireworks today.
Well, and it's a big matter of throttle control, especially when the car gets weightless. Literally need to have a feather for a foot. You need to lose about 2 or 3 pounds out of your right foot, because if you're a little too heavy on it, as we'll watch Davis come up over here. This is through turn 4. This will be 5 as he comes up over the crest. And there you go. There's a perfect example of exactly what we were talking about. And Davis is no slouch. I know he may be out there trying to set himself a fast lap, but what that shows is that just shows how easy it is to lose control coming through 5. And kind of jokingly we were discussing, saying that here at Mid-Ohio, your car's almost weightless as much as it does feel weighted. But as Talberg comes around, hopefully he does stick out and he's going to head into the pits. I was hoping to catch a full lap here with someone. Let me just see who else is on track. Well, Davis is on board here. He's on an out lap. Let's see if we can catch Levesque as he comes around. I believe he's headed through down the back street just out of the keyhole. I want to just give a quick rundown and show you a whole lap around here. So here's Matej Orban. We'll hop on board with him in the Volvo 240. You head down into turn 1. Turn 1 is a very fast left-hander, kind of sweeps away from you as he is just a little out of control, a little too hot into turn 1. You'll have to excuse me. I do apologize. I had the standings up there, guys. I do apologize. We're back on board here with Matej Orban as he heads into turn 2, which is the keyhole. This is a downhill right-hander, very, very slow, but also difficult to get onto the power. As you can see, Orban getting a little bit squirrely there. We'll see if we can catch someone else here. But again, sorry to the viewers for not being on the track there. We're just Just getting sorted here. So Davis will be coming around. We should follow him for a full lap here. And actually, if you'd like to see the pre-event hot lap, Toby Davis did actually do one. You can see it on our YouTube page, youtube.com/TouringProSeries. Before every race event, we will have a video posted up for a hot lap of the event that is going to be broadcast that day. So Davis is going to line up here, and this is going to give you a full view of one lap around Mid-Ohio as he crosses the start-finish line into turn one. Very fast left-hander. You're trying to avoid that curb, but also get as close to it as you can so you can run up the track and get a great run uphill here down into the up into the keyhole. Great passing opportunity here because of the slipstream. But in the braking zone here, you're coming in hot, and then the car gets weightless there. You're going to let the car coast down a little bit and get back on the power, and try not to get it get a little bit any oversteer at all, because you're going to, if you mess up coming out of the keyhole, your entire run down this long straight is affected. And coming through there, that's actually considered turn 3 into turn 4. Heavy braking zone, great passing opportunity, downhill right-hander. You're going to be trying to get the car back up the track for 5. Keep it very tight to the curb, not hitting it as the car gets weightless, as we saw earlier. Coming through to 6, it's got fast right-hander, trying not to clip the curbs. The curbs unsettle the car so much here, but this is a very tricky section. You got to come through 7, 8, and 9. And then we're up into Thunder Valley. Weightless as the car comes up over the hill. You're trying to get on the power without sliding it too much. This is called Thunder Valley here. In through 10, into 11. Tough brake zone uphill. And you're going to be drifting, using a little curb, drifting to the outside of the track, which then becomes the inside. And the Sierra struggles through these long, long corners. Very hard on the tire wear. But it's a double apex final corner through 12, the carousel, and through 13. And that's one lap around Mid-Ohio.
Indeed, now also bumped Toby Davis up to second as well, the 126.144, just under 100 slower there than William Levesque, and Levesque currently pole position, as we said, currently on 19 points as well, needs a good result today. Championship leader Jesper Tolberg sits in P3 at the moment, and it's a very much more shaken grid, potentially, than we expected, perhaps just looking at the standings.
Well, and I just actually noticed William Levesque just did jump ahead of Tolberg. Tolberg has held the top spot here for the majority of this session here in practice before we head into the qualifying. Tolberg has shown that he has the race pace hand and fist over everybody. He has destroyed the competition in race form, whereas these other guys seem to not be able to have quite the tire management that Tolberg can pull off. Now, if it's something to do with the car, Chris Butcher did say in a post-race interview that a lot of people overlooked the Supra, but I just think maybe the Iceman's got this car figured out, Liam.
Well, I think it's very key. I think you've hit a good point there about tyre wear, and there's no better man to spectate about tyre wear than Jesper Tolberg, because he really is probably one of the best sim racers in the world. You can put him in any car, and he's guaranteed a good result almost, and I'm sure the bookies will have a field day. But I think that you can put him, as I say, in any car, and he will perform. The Supra, as you said, Chris said, a lot of people did overlook it due to its recent results, if you will, in past seasons. It wasn't always the most competitive car, and it did struggle. You put that in the hands of one of the most kind of illustrated drivers of all time, and you just almost guaranteed success, and he really has pushed his car beyond all expectations. And I'm sure right now he's no more the underdog. He's very much a champion contender, leading it, of course, by 8 points. So definitely no man to be overlooked, as he's won both races so far on a car where not many people chose it at the start of the season.
No, and the Sierra here is very quick in a hot lap, and this has also been proven in the previous events that the Sierra can pull fast laps off here. And actually, the Sierra, Ryan Callan, the co-founder of TPS, was discussing with me that in season 1 he was driving the Sierra here, and it actually made him cry how difficult it was over race distance. So Levesque and Davis being out front in the Sierras are, they're going to have to figure out how to make this car last over a long period of time. And speaking of actually the first season, the top 6 from season 1 are not even racing in this event. Toby Davis in season 1 finished 7th in this event. Others that are racing, Ivo Simons was 13th. And actually our most decorated driver in Touring Pro Series history, Jesper Tolberg, raced in season 1 of WTM, and at this event he finished 15th. So it just goes to show how far a driver like Tolberg has come in just such a short period of time, as we see Eric Tveit in the background there just making a little bit of sweet love to a barrier.
Yeah, definitely getting a bit of a feel for the surroundings before the race, that's for sure. So last thing you want to do, especially going to qualifying, and it sounds a bit stupid, but some drivers may actually do that on purpose, because if you get all that out of your system, if you when you get that worry of making a mistake or that one corner where you're gone, if you make it earlier on, then you'll think you're less prone to do it again. So you may see, as silly as it sounds, a couple of drivers, they won't admit to it, but purposely doing it so that they kind of detours their mind off it, although I'm not sure Toby Davis's incident there was intended, but
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what Toby's thinking right now, but I think he's thinking, all right, I need to get a good qualifying in. I need to get my head wrapped around how I'm going to beat Jesper Talberg in that Supra. Let's make this Sierra. He's trying to think of how he can make this, him and the Sierra, work in perfect sync today so he can get a good result and hopefully take some points away from the Iceman and maybe, just maybe give himself a contention, put himself in contention headed into the second half of the season.
Is what he needs as well. Of course, we're on round 3 now, and there are some very tricky tracks lined up, and of course, I think qualifying, this could be very well one of them. Just due to its track nature, it gets extremely hard to overtake here, and if you've got some traffic or less experienced drivers in front of you while you're trying to set a hot lap, it could catch a few of them out, and I think we could see maybe a few surprises on the grid today.
Oh, for sure, definitely. And well, 15 minutes does give them a fair amount of time. The thing is we have 30 cars here, and we usually have close to 40 car grids here. We had quite a few people reported absences for various reasons, but we do appreciate the drivers who could not make it today for reporting the absence to let us know. But 30 cars at Mid-Ohio is definitely not, it's not a picnic. I mean, it's tough. Like, as you can see, these cars draping around here, there literally becomes, it literally becomes like there's no room. Like, this is Levesque coming through here to come through the second half of this track here. He's going to need to gap himself, but then if you look back from behind Levesque, he has all of, well, you can just see the cars draping around here. So the room becomes less and less as the race goes on, as the qualifying goes on.
Oh, indeed he will. And of course, he's taking a look at him now, and a bit of a lock up there, but nonetheless, he is going to just try and maybe just get some space on track. And I mean, this track alone is a challenge in itself, and especially if you're trying to be charged down by a competitor or someone's trying to grab a sneaky slipstream off you, going down that long straight after the keyhole, then it can apply a little bit of pressure. But you see Levesque now go through turn 1, of course, that is a very fast left-hander, and it can catch you out as well, because it really is a test of the driver's confidence in the car, because it is that always daring temptation to lift a little bit and then get straight back on, but doing that, you can lose the back end as William goes through the keyhole now, looking very, very confident in the car's ability, looking very sturdy at the moment as he comes down now. He's got a bit of an advantage against a slipstream, but it shouldn't be too significant to his lap time due to the distance of the car in front, but nonetheless, this should be the benchmark time of the afternoon as he goes through the end of Sector 1 now, and in a very tricky right-hander. This is probably one of my, well, least favourite and favourite corners all at the same time, because you flip the car straight back on the other side to get it in position for the next corner, but by doing that you risk losing it as well. So from a spectator's point of view, absolutely marvellous. From a driver's point of view, one of the scariest corners you can encounter.
Absolutely, and as you can see, this is William Levesque followed by Chris Butcher, who, although in this series they are not, there's no teams in this series, they are teammates in other Touring Pro Series avenues, and Chris Butcher trying to take advantage of the draft off of the back of William Levesque's Sierra, as Chris Butcher hasn't put in a ton of practice for this event. Just a note to all the viewers, he will actually be at the Abu Dhabi circuit for the Formula 1 event. We're actually sending him with a Touring Pro Series t-shirt to hopefully get some good pictures for publicity's sake for the Touring Pro Series, as we've got the first set of laps coming through. Talberg going right into the 25s, the first 25 we've seen here today. Davis at a 26.2, Tveit slots in with a 26.3, and Levesque at a 26.4.
Yeah, so definitely the time comes flooding in at the moment. Tveit, though, as you say, looking competitive. And a few of these guys a bit lower down the field we say would be looking quite strong today. Ivo Simons is definitely one of them. Currently 8th position, but the guys aren't really separated by that far of a speed difference at the moment. Of course, the time's still filtering through. Going to see a bit of differentiation in the lap times up until around the final 5 minutes when the real one's going to get pumped in. And you said it before, Keith, I remember last race about Jesper Talberg, and maybe won't give it his optimum right now and just kind of like get into the opponent's heads and think he's slow and then go for that one amazing qualifying lap. But right now, if he's trying to do that strategy, he's still around 3/10 quicker than Toby Davis. So definitely looking in Talberg's favour at the moment as we have 11 minutes left in the session.
Yeah, and 11 minutes is a lot of time to get things done, and you know that these guys like Davis and Levesque know how to get a qualifying done. Levesque was the quickest in practice with a 26.1, so it's only 2/10 off of what Talberg's currently doing, but you never know what Talberg does have, and we do talk about him a lot because he puts himself in that position to be talked about. He's always got a little bit of a game planned out where he's practicing with full fuel in and not letting people know exactly what he's got. We've got Davis now. He's going to be looking to take Talberg down, knock him down a peg here. We'll let him get out on his hot lap, but Levesque sits third, Tveit in fourth. Yunus Ravio has shown some pace, but we've yet to see him pull it all together and pull off a good overall finish yet. He's got the pace. We just need to see him pull it all together, and possibly this could be the event.
Yeah, and I think once you get that first good result as well, will give you a huge boost of confidence going into the next rounds. And it can be a little bit of a demotivator if you know you've got the pace and you just can't quite get the results you hope for. But as soon as you get that one result, then of course it can just literally snowball from there, and you can find yourself getting those consistent good results and hopefully climbing your way up the ladder in terms of the point landings. And right now, it's what he needs to do. And I think right now he's doing a good job though. He's trying to get in the slipstream, P5 currently, and he definitely has improved. He said he is returned to Touring Pro Series, and he's definitely no stranger to Touring Pro Series racing. And I think that experience is going to aid him in a track like this, because you could see, I think, maybe a couple of rookie mistakes from the younger guys coming in. As you can see, a little bit of misjudgment in the corner there, and he abandons that lap, and I'm not sure he'll be too happy with the circumstances, but 9 minutes to go. It's important to let that one go and get back on a lap.
He was only 0.06 of a second off of Talberg's 25.9, which for Sector 1, that's a pretty, it is a fairly straight run, because you're really only doing turn 1, the keyhole, which is turn 2, and then the long straight, and he did have the draft from the M3, which was just ahead of him, but the M3 did kind of impede him through, coming through 5, so he definitely just felt that the lap wasn't going to improve him on his 26.7, so again, as we talked about this, is that the track does starts to narrow up, cars being out there around you, it gets a little tight, and I believe that's Strauss just ahead of Ravio. Let's see if we can hop on board with him. Strauss coming off a really exciting finish in the last event at Laguna Seca, where it came down to the very last lap. A little bit of contact between him and Davis, but the stewards deemed it was a racing incident. But I mean, what a battle. Liam, you remember the way him and Davis were going at it for the last 5 laps of the race as Davis started to fade. It was something else, wasn't it?
Oh, how could you forget? It's probably one of the greatest battles I've ever witnessed, and I'm sure we could see much of the same today. Strauss currently sits in P10. Want to find something more, of course, Toby Davis, who he was battling with, in P2. But I think right now Strauss definitely could be an underdog, I think, today. He's definitely got the pace there. We've seen it in previous rounds, and this track could be a game changer for him because of its tight and twisty nature and the fact that it's so hard to overtake. I think we're going to see much like what we saw at Spa, a lot of group racing, groups of maybe 4 or 5 cars bunched together, trying to maybe push each other around at some stages, and the one significant overtaking opportunity will be coming out of that keyhole and down that long straight, and I think through there the BMW just may have a little bit of an advantage. So Strauss, if he can get the rest of the lap nailed, could be a bit of a contender today.
Well, that's a definite, and I believe our fastest there's Ivo Simons in the Alpha, who's been just pushing this little car to great lengths here this season. We've got actually in the top 4. I'll just quickly go down. We've got at the front we have a Supra, Sierra, Rover with Eric Tveit, who's the lone Rover in the field and has been doing very well with it. Just still working on his consistency, but I see great things coming from this kid here in the future in Touring Pro Series. Done really well, still very young, got a lot to learn, but definitely showing his pace. Yunus Ravio in the 635 with Butcher back in the Sierra, Oyala in 635 as well, followed by the Alpha. And I was just trying to find actually where our first, there's our Volvo. I was trying to find where our first Holden is, because this would be the most difficult track to drive on with the Holden.
Yeah, I think, well, the track's not to drive with any car, if you will, but I think that it's definitely going to be one of those things where it's going to be down to confidence of the car. And if you've selected a car towards the start of the season where you've gone for it because you know you'll excel at one track, then it's going to pay to a disadvantage here. So if you've selected a car thinking, right, Spa's best circuit on that calendar, let's pick the car which is best suited to that, and then you can't quite match those performances throughout the rest of the season, then you're going to slowly kind of snowball down the timetable. So we'll see what can happen right now as you quickly go through the qualifying time. Still Jesper Tolberg on pole. 6 minutes to go in the session. Toby Davis second, William Levesque in third. We say needs a good result today. Eric Tveit just behind him. Rivio in P5 at the moment. Chris Butcher in 6th. Oyala 7th. Hero Simons 8th. Pereira up P9. And Florian Strauss in P10. So still quite a very top 10. 6 minutes to go. The guy's just outside Bruno Ferreira. Of course, he wants a definite good result. Matej Orban, P13. John Monroe, 15th. He'll love to get himself in the top 10 today. Let's see what John can do. Of course, we've seen him excel in series such as the Clios, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do with one of the other cars in the field, you know, a bit more further down the timeline.
Well, Raul Pereira is a great story. Completely new to Touring Pro Series, completely new face. Has already pulled off a 7th place finish, which is very good. And considering that the depth of the field in Touring Pro Series, in any of the leagues, in World Touring Masters, in Clios, in any of them, there's always a deep field of talent. And for him to pop in, just get kind of get his feet wet, and now he's popping out top 10s. We could see big things from Raul in the very near future.
Yeah, I think he's one of those young drivers coming up. There's kind of a clan of them, if you will. Guys like him, Eric Tveit, John Monroe, all of these youngsters getting involved in sim racing really do have that burning passion for it. And because they're young, they've got more time to dedicate to it. And I think that's why you've seen them slowly creep up the field now and really give some of the kind of sim racing veterans, if you will, a big run for their money. So,
well,
on a chat like this as well, I think.
Well, speaking of John Monroe, actually, sorry, he's making his debut here in World Touring Masters today. He's currently sitting in the provisional 15th spot. He chose to take the Sierra as well, so it's quite a big change because he's been running the Clios and doing very well in that. So very well-spoken young man, and he's definitely one to look for in any series that he does plan to race in. And actually, we also have a revisit. We also have, who is it? Adam Vaughn, who has not raced in quite a while, taking a bit of a break off of sim racing, and it's good to see him back out there in the M3. Hopefully he'll have some fun here today at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, it's always good to see, and it just never quite goes away, does it, that passion for sim racing. So we'll see what Adam can do today. 4 minutes left in the session, still a lot to decide, and none of these guys kind of rock solid confirm their grid slot at the moment. And I think he's just going to take one big lap from someone in that midfield to maybe shake things up. All you need to see is someone who's maybe about 12th to 15th, someone like John Monroe, someone like Fernandez, just put in a big lap, get them into the top 10, and it'll give them such a confidence boost going onto the grid, and then maybe kind of give that wow factor to the drivers around them, and then maybe even shake up the race order. As you can see, Pereira, who's talking about there, a bit of a slide coming off of the hill, and again, very easily done. It's very hard not to do at some point, so...
Well, if you look, Butcher's actually sitting in the provisional 8th. But see, we've seen this from Butcher where he's not so quick in qualifying, but gets a great start and then starts to race well. So I do expect to see him do well here today. Strauss has moved up to the 6th, Ravio 5th, Tveit still in 4th. But I mean, the only person who's really improved here is Talberg. Talberg's gone into the 125, gone to a 125.8, and just flat out outpacing the field in a car that not many people would have considered be the car to do it in. Davis, Levesque, those guys both did a 26.1 in practice, but they're not able to touch it here in qualifying, which is quite surprising. So, I don't know, it's shaping up like it could be a Jesper Talberg runaway, possibly.
Yeah, I think the thing is with Jesper as well is that he's achieved just about everything there is to achieve, so why not go for that underdog car when no one's going to expect to perform, and then blitz the field? And talking of blitzing, as we say, he's already 4/10 quicker than Toby, but also under his previous best live race time. So Jesper really is pushing so hard right now. It's not like he's just putting in an average performance and push himself in the race. This man is on an absolute mission right now. He's just flying through the field and pushing that car as hard as it will go, and it's definitely paying off because it's just a testament to his qualifying time. 4/10 quicker, the only man in the 125s, and by 2/10 as well. Toby 2/10 over that 125 mark, and there goes the pin, so he's not an alien after all, but...
Well, you can tell he's not taking it easy. I mean, he's even though he's got the pole, he's out there still pushing it as hard as he possibly can. It's funny because going back to season 1, if I just quickly go through the field of who raced, we have the people that are racing that raced in season 1. We've got Toby Davis, Jay Adji, Ivo Simons, Talberg, Chris Butcher. Chris Butcher, actually, believe it or not, in season 1 finished 18th position here at this event. and he was actually it was almost a full lap down by the end of the race. And also the other racers who were here in season 1 would be, it looks to me like we had, well, Ryan Callan did race, but he's not racing. He's doing insane amounts of administration work. Brian Clancy actually raced in season 1, who was unable to make this event. He's actually the sponsor. He also runs simracinghardware.com. And very great guy. Thank you for supporting us, and check them out at simracinghardware.com. Incredible custom items that you can get made up if you're trying to trick out your sim racing rig at home. But 1 more minute left here for these Sierras to try to dethrone the Supra of Talberg. But I just can't see it. Can you?
Not at the moment. I mean, you know, we've seen, I mean, if you just remember back to Spa, and I think we still got that picture there of what the actual grid was like, and just how close it was. There was literally nothing in every sense of the word between them. But a track like this, I think Toby said, I remember, in the first half of the season, he needs to get those, you know, massive results over him, and just hasn't been able to do it because Talberg's always been that one little step ahead. And it's not like Davis is driving badly by any stretch of the imagination. He's doing an extremely good job out there. But it's just because Jesper's done a good job.
Ravio up into second. That is a big upset for these guys, because that now puts a car in between the Sierras and the Supra. So Ravio stepping it up. We were just talking about this, Liam, and actually, just while you did mention this, just to show the fans out there, this was the qualifying. This is what qualifying looked like from the first round of this series. You can literally see it is only a hair length between Talberg and Davis. So that is what we started with. That is Strauss also in there as well. They literally tied on the score sheet. So we're back here now, and the gap is massive now.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, that's what I was talking about with Ravio, though. It just takes one guy, just maybe outside the top end or in the lower splits, to just put in one hell of a lap, and then really create an upset there. And that's not only going to perhaps worry Jesper Talberg, but it's going to put Toby Davis under intense pressure to get in front of him as soon as possible, because Davis knows if he wants to win this championship, he needs to get those big points. He needs to remain as close to Jesper Talberg as he possibly can. And he can't do that if you've got Jonas Ravio. As we said, he's no stranger to TPS. He knows how to defend. He's a very experienced man indeed, and will definitely fight tooth and nail for that position. I think Toby knows that. Then as a qualifying time hit 0, it's definitely a massive upset in the top 5.
Absolutely, and we are finishing qualifying here. I don't think we've got anyone else on track that's gonna make an effect, as Tveit, I believe, gets a little bit more of the bumping the car out of his system, because now we're going to be headed into a warm-up. We should get about 5 minutes. We'll do a quick rundown of the grid. Liam will give you the rundown once we get in there. I think we'll just quickly have a look, make sure, as you can see, a beautiful shot down the pitch straight here at Mid-Ohio Sports Complex, a famous circuit here being visited by these classic cars. So we are going to be finished up with qualifying here in just a moment. As we see, I believe everybody is done. Tristan Clark crosses the line. I think he's the last guy to do so. And Talberg's still out there trying to lap. This guy he's relentless. He's got the pole by 3/10, and I don't know if he crossed the line beforehand, so I don't know. He may actually get another lap in, but this guy is relentless. I think he just likes the camera time, don't you, Liam?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think the saying, you know, first man in, last man out, definitely applies right now. I've never seen someone so just showing off now.
That's enough for you, Jesper. No more airtime. Well, we will be right back in just a moment, and Liam will give you a rundown of the grid, so hold tight. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Talberg currently leading the championship.
And we are back. We are here at Mid-Ohio for the third round of World Touring Masters, presented by TouringProSeries, sponsored by SimRacingHardware.com. Liam Jenkins is here with me. He's going to be going through the grid for you to let you know exactly where everyone's going to be starting here for the green flag.
Yeah, and starters you need to go on could be the key phrase there, because championship leader Jesper Tolberg did a 125.872 to snatch pole position, and a late time there by Hunes Revayo of a 126.1 snatch second place from Toby Davis, so definitely the underdog in that top three there. But Davis, of course, renowned for his rocket start, so definitely an exciting start on the card. Just behind him, William Levesque, of course, a very illustrated driver indeed, so it'll be great top four to watch there. Fifth place is that hard charger, of course, from a few weeks ago in the Lone Rover in the field, Eric de Veit with a 126.3. Florian Strauss came 6th place with a 126.37. Ivo Simon said he won a good result today, definitely looking that way. Starts in front of Chris Butcher in P8, so Butcher again. He said he hasn't had practice today, but definitely showing no signs of remorse, so a top 10 is a good result, so we'll see what he can do from there. Raul Pereira starts P9 after a good effort to get himself in the top 10, and of course, just rounding out the top 10 was Tommy Oyala. P11 was Matej Orban in the Volvo. He was followed by Bruno Salazar Ferreira in P12 with a 127.362. Lining up behind him was Luis Fernandez and Adam Vaughan, and then David Yin, Alberto Asagni, and Jeff Dobbing in P18. So I'm not sure it was P17. There's a little bit of a glitch on the grid there. P19 was Kevin Enderman in a Nissan Skyline. P20 was Jay Adji, and they lined up just in front of Roding, and the man just behind him, of course, was Steve Davis in the Holden. Then, of course, P23 was Butanenko. Tony Matthews was P24. 25th place was Jonathan Ockerklint, and Jonathan Moffat came in P26 overall. 27th place on the grid starts Ethan Bass. He's just in front of Mike Bell. Tristan Clark, who rounds out the 29 runners for this race, and with 29 seconds left of warm-up, final preparations, not only for the car but for the driver's mindset before they go into this one.
Well, it's going to be a little frantic because the starting here, you're headed through turn one. It's very wide through turn one, and people can get a little bit dicey. I've seen it happen before with the rear-wheel drives. People try to, get down the inside. They get on the curb. The car gets a little out of shape, and then they can come across the track because the car is going to move to the outside, and that can cause a big incident in turn one. So these guys need to be aware of that. But it also, if you're smart and you can get a decent run through one, stay on the guy in front of you, you can outbrake them into two. But this is a long race. We don't need to see any incidents. We want to see a clean start. We want to see everybody having a good race out there. We want to keep that driving standard high. And we just want to, well, we just overall want to see a good event here. We want to put on a good show for all the people viewing. And we want to have these guys have a good race. So we're going to be headed into the race here, and we'll have 30 seconds. We're going to hear the famous words at rFactor. We'll and we'll wait for the green light to come along. And then once we are there, we are going to see a total of 34 laps here at Mid-Ohio. We have 29 cars taking the grid. We have Jesper Tolberg on the pole position, who is the championship leader, who has won both races so far this season. So we are waiting right now for the remainder of the drivers to get on track as we clip through the whole field here. As you look down, you can see with 30 cars, this is a very tight grid. Can you imagine seeing 40 out here? We're headed out. We're going to be doing a formation lap, which will give these guys a moment just to kind of get themselves sorted. They're going to pull back around and head into, or I believe we are away. No, sorry, formation lap.
Yeah, indeed we are, and Jesper Tolberg leading the field then, and he's definitely needing to get that good start today. You've got charging Toby Davis sits directly behind him now, so he'll be more alert than ever, and of course that underdog who sits in P2 of Ravio, so he really wants a good result today. And just imagine if he could get in between those guys and stay there the entire race. What kind of driving style would this provoke from Tolberg and Davis? But whatever happens, regardless, in that top three, if the last race is anything to go by, this race is going to be absolutely incredible. So as the drivers make their way around this Mid-Ohio track, just tensions are building now, not just for the drivers, but I'm sure for the spectators as well.
For sure, and it's a great track. As you can see, the cameras here give you a really good view of what this historical circuit looks like, and you can see these cars as this is the corner here that we talked about so much, turn 5, that as your tires start to go off, you can really expect to see guys struggling coming out of 5. And the thing is that it is a blind corner, so if a guy has lost control out of exiting 5 and trying to regain his composure, getting back straight again, you'll end up coming over, the guys behind will come over the crest and not see him, and you're going full bore and you see a guy all of a sudden, it can definitely cause a bit of an incident. But these guys need to keep some distance. You don't want to see any contact in the pace lap. Chris Butcher was penalized 2 points for contact in the previous round at Laguna Seca for contact in the formation lap. So everyone's got to keep cool. They don't want to get into anybody. It's a nice calm lap here as they come around, and we're going to be gridded up. We're going to be gridding up here to start the 3rd round of the World Touring Masters Season 4. This is a great shot, isn't it? As these guys, well, just look at this. This is what I always love to see. You've got Toby Davis. Let me just get back on board here. Let's have a look this way. We've got Toby Davis inching forward, trying to get the angle here, as the rest of the field is going to get into line here. I'm going to have a look down the back as the rest of the field lines up. We're almost fully lined up here. Tristan Clark lines up. We're going to be seeing these guys go. It's going to be green light very shortly here as we're waiting for the lights to go. We got red, red, red. Wait for the lights to go out, and away we go. 3rd round of World Touring Masters. Toby Davis is trying to get away. It looks like he's down the inside of Tallberg. He is clear of Tallberg yet again. Tallberg suffering from poor starts as Ravio goes by, Levesque goes by. Tallberg goes back to 4th position off the start as Ravio's down the inside of Davis into the keyhole. Davis trying to hold him down the inside. Ravio trying to take the lead as he got contact of mayhem in the background. Cars everywhere. Ravio takes the lead. I don't know what happened back there. We're going to stay with the leaders as you see Raul Pereira go off in the background. Tallberg's back and forth. Jonas Ravio gets sideways, loses the lead exiting the keyhole as Levesque goes through. The Sierras are now both in front of Ravio. What a start.
Oh, absolutely. And what a start for Dave, so he knows he's got to capitalise and look at William Levesque now trying to take that 2nd place around the outside. Such a tricky overtaking move, but he's made it stick and now sets his sights on Toby Davis, who, let's just face it, has had a perfect start. His main contender is now behind 2 further cars, and he's going to have a lot of work to try and get past them. Let's see what Jesper Tolberg can do, and this is going to be the comeback of the century. Let's see what he can do. But there was plenty of carnage as they came out of turn 1.
It was a mess. I'm hearing that there was Ivo Simons and Butcher were both involved in that incident. I was trying to catch it on my other screen, but a number of guys ended up going back through that. You've got let's see, Butcher back in 24th. You've got Clark, Yunt, a couple guys making up ground, and Raul Perez dropped quite a ways back. He's back in the 20th. But Ivo Simons is actually up to 8th, so I don't know if Ivo's in there. But to find out what happened with that, you'll have to just wait for the highlight videos to come out, or you can, which will come out shortly after the video is uploaded to YouTube within about a week or so. But Ravio having an okay start, considering he started 2nd. But look who's under attack now. Eric Tveit is looking down the inside of Tallberg into turn 2.
Can he make it stick through the key? Oh,
no,
look at that
he can't quite do it. He's sliding. Oh,
and
what a move.
Oh, look, it's a drag race down the straight, then still side by side. Tveit reluctant to give up or hold that inside line for the next corner. And it's going to be so tricky now. It's the overtaking opportunity on the track, which most drivers tend to go for. Tveit trying to make it stick. Late braking by Jesper, but look at just on the inside, and look, they're waiting for that opportunity to come to him. Over the crest of the hill they come.
And Florian Strauss is just on the back of Tallberg now. He was the guy we just said he had not the greatest qualifying. I think he's qualified 9th, but he's now up into the 6th position, gaining 3, or actually sorry, qualified 6th. He's still in the same spot. Oyala has made up 3 spots. I was incorrect there, but Tallberg just going backwards here. He's back into 5th.
Not what he wants indeed, and Toby Davis will have such a smile on his face right now. This could not have gone to a better start, and he needs this race. He needs a win here today to get that championship back on track, and the further Tallberg finishes down the field, the better in that case for him. But nonetheless, though, Tallberg being hounded though, Florian Strauss, as you said, not too far away, bringing the cavalry with him of O'Hala, Ivo Simons, Matej Orban, all just behind him, looking to try and have their shot at overtaking Jesper Tallberg.
Well, and here's the thing is that with regards to pitch strategy, what I understand, and I was sworn to secrecy to not say anything, but the quickest ray around this circuit for all 34 laps for this car you're looking at right here, the Sierra. This is some oh, Tolbert up on 2 wheels. What happened there? Let's see if we can catch a look at that. Oh, it just looks like we caught it in the back. It looked like he might have been up on 2 wheels there as he comes through. Oh, he seemed to have just dropped a little bit there. I think just a little bit of it might have been a little bit of lag there from Tolbert, but a little scary to see that championship leader car up on 2 wheels, nonetheless. But sorry, back to the strategy though. I spoke with Toby Davis before the race, and he has already tested quite a bit with this car to figure out the fastest way to complete this race. And he told me that he was going to be going for a medium stint at the start, which is why you're seeing him with such quick pace now, and then 2 hard stints. So he's pitting 2 times in this race. So his idea is to get out front and hope that Tolbert falls back, and everything is falling into place for him right now. Now, the only thing, Liam, that is going to change for him if for this strategy to work is that when he goes into the pits and comes out, he needs to be crisp and concise getting through the cars that are on older tires. I can almost guarantee you Tolbert will be on a one-stop strategy as he has been all season. As Tveit just disappeared into the wall.
Could have been a bit, he's definitely lagging, I think. There's right now under pressure there.
I just put the replay. We're not on replay. I thought maybe it was, but he seems to be struggling. Something happened to Eric Tveit as he falls down the field. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Look, let's get on the replay because he looked like he disappeared into the wall here, which he did. He literally just drifts off into the wall. And I think maybe it possibly could have happened is his computer he could have had a slight lockup with his computer, and it sent him wide. The all ever so famous graphics glitch in any type of racing game. But very unfortunate for Tveit. He was looking very racy here at the start of this, but unfortunately again he's going to suffer and drop back to 16th. Maybe he can make his way back, but definitely going to be sitting with some damage for sure.
Yeah, one man who's not suffering right now though, 1 tick off the checklist is Jesper Tolberg, and right now he's kind of making a Santa's checklist of who's been naughty and nice. Either one though, they're just going to try and blitz past him, and a bit of a moment there by Ryby. You're going to feel that warm heat of pressure that Tolberg's going to just embrace upon you as he tries to find something out in towards that final corner. See if he can get a run into turn 1. Such a tricky corner. You can see how Ryby has changed now. That driving style is definitely a lot more reckless, if you will, trying to throw the car around and find something more. Just the sheer presence of Tolberg is enough to send you wide at a corner. Let's see what he can do there as Ryby, those mistakes are mounting up, and I'm sure this move is inevitably coming after the keyhole. If you get close enough, brakes a little bit later, not too late, as you don't want to go too deep, and he's almost hitting there, and a bit of a slide by Ryby, but not enough. And I think that just because of trying to almost brake test Tolberg by accident has actually given him a bit of an advantage to back out from there. 2.3 seconds of gap between Toby Davis and William Levesque, and this could not go better for him at the moment. But what he's got to take in consideration is that he's got to keep on putting this lap times. He needs to try, and yeah, okay, he's 2 seconds clear, but he's got to keep it there because you've still got William Levesque behind you, and then Jesper Tolberg's still now out of this picture yet. Just because he's fourth, you can't write him off that he's going to not get up to skin and be on your tail again.
Well, and the other big factor here is that I spoke with Ryan about this, Ryan Callan about this, Toby's strategy, the fact that he's pitting twice, and we both said, well, if he's pitting twice, there's no way he's going to win. But actually, if you look here, this is what we were talking about. The pit lane here is very, very interesting because you're actually cutting off the final corner just slightly, and you're also cutting off the end of the first corner too. So you're into the pits there. It's a very quick entry, and you're in a very short pit lane. So essentially, it may not be all that much time lost. We don't know the exact amount, but if you look, the pit lane exits and you actually cut part of turn 1 down. So that 2-stop strategy just could play in, and Toby Davis could be the one with the winning strategy here and could be taking some points away as Raubio made a mistake and Strauss is through too. Let's see if we can catch that. Not quite sure what happened there, but Raubio just seems to be now on the downslide. Let's see if we can catch what happened. Oh, he went way off there. Coming out of, I think this is coming out of 6, coming out of 6, 7, this is 7 and 8, or sorry, that's 8. He just gets a little wide. Did he get a nudge? I don't think he did he?
I don't think, no, I wasn't close enough, but I think he just got a bit too hot trying to outbrake Jesper Tolberg, and that's never a good idea, and especially as corner as tricky as that as well. That's hard to take at normal braking points.
No kidding.
But nonetheless, so again, now to fifth, and another one off of Jesper's list. He's up to 3rd place. So, as I said, it's nowhere near the end of the world for Tolberg, but next up on his hit list, and what a battle should be They're 5 cents apart at the moment, two very old rivals, William Levesque and Jesper Tolberg.
Oh, and that gap is closed significantly since we even just looked at that. And Tolberg is closing in on both Levesque and Davis. And it is apparent that Tolberg obviously not too rattled that he went back. I mean, he obviously is confident in the way his car lasts through. Like I said, this is, you can see Levesque, when the tires are smoking like that and you're seeing rubber being laid down, those tires are getting cooked and you are eating up the rubber underneath the cars. Tolberg, he just looks like he's floating. I mean, does it not look like he's out on a cloud, Liam?
Oh, definitely cloud 9 for sure, as he's just trying to reel in. And look at the run he got there. So that goes a bit wide round the outside of the keyhole. This will be a daring manoeuvre, potentially a championship deciding one in the future, as he looks around the outside, has to brake so much later. Levesque's not going to give that one up, but he does get the cut back, and he just can't get it done. Levesque's too sensible for that one. Of course, William Levesque again, he's no stranger. He's definitely one of the most illustrated Touring Pro Series drivers in history. Two of these guys, those complete sim racing legends, going at it right now, and this is potentially one of those galactic battles. But you look back on the future, and Tolberg are all over him right now, just trying to get everything in. And so it goes a bit wide. Does Levesque has to switch the car back across? What I was talking about earlier. If you're a spectator, it looks awesome. As a driver, it's scary. If you mess that corner up, you've got to switch your car all the way back, and it can really cost you, not only in terms of downforce, but in terms of lap time as well. And it can really mess the rest of your lap up. As you can see, Levesque just in front, going on all-out defensive now as Tolberg, from this onboard view, he's just reeling him in like a fisherman, trying to find the opportune moment, but he's got to stay calm. You don't want to go throwing anything away, because this could really, potentially, extend your championship lead today if you can catch Toby Davis, because the gap between those now is just 2.8 seconds, and the view of Toby's car just a few seconds away is definitely going to be a big motivator for Jesper Tolberg.
Well, and as you say that, you can actually even see the tire smoke off of Davis's car too. Like both Levesque and Davis are pushing these cars hard, and as far as I know, Davis started on medium tires. Tolberg has started on hards, as far as I know as well too. So Davis needs a bigger gap. He should be pulling away. Now he's doing 27.6 the last lap by, when 2 laps ago he was doing 26.9. So he has fallen off significantly here, as Tolberg is just menacing on the back of Levesque. But a little further back, we got some pretty good battling. Now Ralvio's making his way back up. You've got Tommy Oyala in 6th. Ivo Simon's in that Alpha, just running nice. He's sitting in 7th place. Matej Orban in the Volvo in 8th. Luis Fernandez, great run for him, I believe. So here is the gain positions. Davis up 2, Levesque up 2, Strauss up 2, Oyala up 4, Matej Orban up 3, and the big gainer here, Jay Adji, is up 10 spots. Steve Davis in the Holden is up 10. Actually now 11 spots as Tveit drops back a spot. But these guys are battling hard, and there's a lot of guys that have made up some good spots here, like Bruno Sousa Ferreira having a good run, Adji, Tveit now trying to make his way back after that little incident, which we'll hopefully we can find out about later. But he's just not having a good time here. This seems to be all over the track right now.
Oh, he's just not, as you say, not having a good time at all. A torrid time, I mean, he's just slipped. Of course, he was battling with Jesper Tolberg. Now down in 12th, trying to hold off the oncoming crowd of Steve Davis. And you got Asagni and then John Munro there now clinched onto the back of them. John, as you said, maybe could be one of those contenders for a top 10. Still where he started in P15, but nonetheless, as I said about that group racing during this race due to the nature of the track.
Sorry, Davis is into the pits. Davis is into the pits, and he's exiting out just behind Ivo Simons, who's in 6th position. So this is an early pit stop. This is definitely going to be a 2-stop strategy for Toby Davis. Now, I don't know. What are you thinking? Do you think this is the right move?
I don't know, it depends on what the other drivers around him are doing, because if he does get held up by Ivo Simons now, he said Simons can be competitive. He's got 6 further cars between him and current leader William Levesque, one of those being Jesper Tolberg, who we predict is on a 1-stop strategy. I don't recall him making a pit stop in the opening 2 rounds, as Davis almost looks for a move there. But I think this depends on what the other cars do around him, because Davis needs the rest of the field in front of him to try and make a 2-stop strategy. If they're on a 1-stop and he can't get past them, that significant tire advantage he will have over Jesper is going to just slowly fade away into the tarmac, and that's not what he wants at all. So its fate very much relies on the cars around him.
Yeah, and back up front, Tolberg is still all over the back of Levesque, and you know that if Levesque did start the race on mediums as Toby Davis, I believe, did. He's going to be in the same kind of boat as Toby was, but Levesque seems to be maintaining his pace a little better. He did a 127.2 the last lap. This lap he just finished a 127.5, so he has fallen off as Tallberg just seems to be maintaining. That Super just looks so clean and so smooth. It doesn't seem to do any scrubbing. As he's looking down the inside into the keyhole, he's going to think better of it. He's not going to try to force a move here. And these guys outside of this series are teammates, but right now it is the gloves are off. It doesn't matter, teammate or not. These guys are going to be battling.
Oh, and one of the scenarios as well, your best friends off the racetrack. As soon as you get onto the racetrack, it's just all-out warfare. You've got to remember, you're racing for a win, and Tallberg's definitely remember that. He looks up the inside, brakes later. Can he make it stick? I think that's definitely got it. Levesque drifts wide, and yes, Seinfeld delivered. He's got the race lead. Can he keep it though? Davis, currently P6, he's got past Simons. O'Hara's 2 seconds up the road, but Jesper Tallberg is in the lead of the race, but still William Levesque not going to let him all entirely run away with it, so we'll see if Levesque can maybe get back, but for now, it's like Jesper Tallberg's almost
Levesque
got that back.
A little wide there.
Yeah, that's going to mess it up next corner, which is a bit of the apex there, but Tallberg's definitely recuperated from that loss he made in the opening lap.
I would expect to see, if he's on a two-stop strategy, Levesque, I would expect to see him pull into the pits here, because you can see how much time he's losing. Is he going to do it? No, he's going to carry on. So possibly Levesque on hards with a two-stop hard strategy. This is a 34-lap race, and look at the gap that Tallberg has pulled away from Levesque just so effortlessly. It's an effortless thing to see him he gets by and he's just pulling away. And this is the guy who started on the pole position, dropped back to 5th, and now he's leading the race at lap 11 and doing so, and he's going away with it. And he's doing he did a 27.1 that lap while passing Levesque in a very clean fashion. But when Davis was leading, he was running mid-26s with absolutely fresh tires. Tallberg is on 11-lap-old tires, and he's doing these times. So, I mean, it's Tallberg's race to lose here. That's really all it is at this point. And Davis at 13 seconds back of Tallberg, I just can't see it working, the strategy that he's thinking. But Davis is going to need to make up as many spots as he can because anything can happen. Tallberg could, drop a wheel, but it's very uncommon to see him do that. But he needs to push and not think about this massive gap that's there. He needs to think, okay, get as many spots as I can. If something happens, it happens.
Oh, indeed he does, and as you say, he's reeling in Tommy Harler right now. And look at the gap already, just taking a look at the actual standing. 1.6 seconds already.
Incredible.
Jesper Tallberg is established from William Levesque, and he's definitely trying to run away into the sunset with this one. But I think, as we said, Toby Davis's race fate could very well depend on those 5 cars in front of him. O'Harler being one, Radio another. Florian Strauss up into P3. Great run so far for him.
Incredible run. He started 6th. He's made up 3 spots, but there's some good battling going on back here. You got Chris Butcher, who got into that early lap incident. He's on the back of Alberto Aznaghi, who is in the M3. You've got Sierra in M3. The M3 is very, very nimble, but a little bit is better on tires, but not quite fast in a straight line. As Butcher looks down the inside into the final corner, not a place to be passing because it's such a long right-hander, and it's double apex as you go through the quick left here. Butcher's going to try to make a move and try to make up some spots as he's actually sitting currently in 3rd in the championship. Or sorry, not 3rd, I apologize. Actually, he is, Ross McGregor is 3rd, who is not here today. He's actually 4th in the championship standing. So it's very unfortunate that McGregor wasn't able to make it today because he's going to be forfeiting a number of points here as he looks down the inside. Chris Butcher down the inside of Aznaghi into the keyhole. No. Oh, Aznaghi gives him quite a bit of room as they carry on through. Butcher's through, book it. He's into 14th, so he's got a ways to go to make up any points that are going to matter here at Mid-Ohio.
Oh, indeed. Let's see what he can do from here then. And right now, take a look at Steve Smith trying to catch a back of Jay Adji. And he's a bit too far away there. We've definitely made a lot of ground through there. Careful not to hit the back of him. Don't want to get too close to break that late because it can punish you around this circuit. Mount the curve a little bit there, but that's not going to harm him in too much of a big deal. As he just tries such a hard track to capitalise. If you can't make that momentum shift through that long straight, you've got to wait an entire lap, and it's so hard, especially with the multiple elevation changes. Losing downforce being in dirty air can really be a big fact, as Chris Butcher sits behind this one quite comfortably, but it's going to want a lot more than 14th place today.
Well, he's in the Holden, which is a very difficult car to maneuver, especially around these tight circuits. So hats off to Steve Davis for pulling this off. I remember watching him race in. Ivo Simons is disconnected, or Oh, that's very unfortunate. Evo Simons just, we've lost him. Yes, he's DNF'd. We've lost Evo Simons. So unfortunate for him. He was having such a good run. So that moves everybody up. Everybody takes advantage of that now. You've got Matej Orban up into the 7th spot. Eric Tveit up to 8th. I mean, he is one of the most exciting guys to watch because he's up, he's down. He's never a dull moment when Eric Tveit is in a race. He's just constant excitement. But it's got to weigh on him. It's got to, you know, give him a little bit of heartburn. This up and down stuff. He just, you know, just wants to get it consistent and pull off a really good finish. But he's got the speed. He just needs to get that consistency, and I think it'll come with time.
Yeah, indeed it will. And he's just got to right now try and stick it out and see what this race brings him. Not doing too badly at all. He tries to chase down Florian Strauss. And Strauss, again, as you say, he's made 3 places, but under a little bit of pressure now. And I'm wondering what kind of Davis' strategies here is. He's actually gone past Tomio Yala. He's about 2 seconds off of Revive at the moment. But I think that it's going to be crucial now, depending on when the other cars pit, because he's pitted in relation to all the others extremely early. Now,
yes.
I'm not sure if this is going to hurt him in the process or no, but I'm probably going to go a wild card here, but this may be a 3-stop, because yeah, he's back up to 5th, but no other driver stopped, and I think his pit stop was at least 4 laps ago now.
Yeah,
so.
he pitted on lap 9, and a lot of people even in the chat are saying it's extremely early to pit that early, but he's not making up any ground, and his times, I'm looking at his lap times now, his current lap times, 27.7 he's running. Talberg is running 27 flats on 14-lap old tires. This man can't be touched right now. I mean, Levesque has an outside chance, but he's struggling. Look, he's sliding the car around. I'll quickly have a look at Levesque's times. Levesque is running last lap a 28.0. He was 1 second off. He lost a full second to Talberg in just the last lap alone. So, I mean, right now, Talberg's race to lose, but there still is some good battles going on. You've got Strauss, Ralvio, Davis, a 3-car train that's going to be coming up, and Davis is going to need to find his way through these guys, as Ralvio, as we've already seen, has suffered a little bit of trouble here. So he's getting a little squirrely when the car goes a little bit lightweight there.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be probably the turning point of the race, and you can see Ralvio just definitely pushing right now. So Davey Davis once again is there in the background showing his presence, but Florian Strauss slowly slipping away there as those mistakes come. But let's see what Jonas can do, because as we say, he's definitely no stranger to TouringProSeries. He knows how to handle a car when he goes dives into the pit lane.
He's into the pits.
The first of the stoppers then, apart from Toby Davis, and see the 2 of retirements there. But right now, this is going to be the big factor here. How much of an advantage will Toby get? Because right now, I can only see him theoretically get him back to 2nd place.
Well, let's see. I'm just quickly looking. Let's go back. So there's Ralvio exiting the pits. 8.1 second pit stop. A fairly short pit lane as he's now getting passed by Tveit. So he's back. There's Luis Fernandez. I don't know if Fernandez is going to get the run by, because you can see that the exit of pit lane gets you a fair bit of advantage coming through turn 1. So he was, how much did he lose? Let's see. Ralvio, when he gets to the split, we'll actually see how much time he lost, because Davis was only about a second behind him. So the gap that Ralvio has, the difference between Davis's gap and Ralvio's gap will show us how much time is lost in the pits. So as Ralvio will be coming up on the split timer here, he's now got Eric Tveit in his sights, who he needs to chase down and possibly get some spots here. So Evo Simons has just reported internet was just fine. Evo just had a disconnect, and he does believe there may be someone else who was out. But what we were just talking about, Ralvio lost 13 seconds in the pits. So that's the total. In, out, 13 seconds lost.
And Toby's 14.8 away, so he's in fact going to lose time unless he can start somehow chipping away. But obviously trying to look for that tyre cutback advantage, but by this time, I think that new tyre advantage would have gone, because as you said, Jesper was lapping nearly 7/10 quicker on older tyres. So Jesper definitely got that car right where he wants it. As Toby looks to try and push through the field, he should theoretically overtake William Levesque, but it's only going to be good enough for 2nd at the moment, I think.
Well, and again, but when Levesque comes out, Davis is going to need to pit at some point. Davis's laps are not fast enough to, I think, maintain a lead over Levesque, because he's going to come out with fresh tires. Levesque is running 28.2s. He's going to need to pit soon. I think that Levesque is on a one-stop strategy for sure, because we are fast approaching the halfway mark here of this race. As Talberg is just, to look at his times, he's doing a 27.3 now after 16 laps on the same tires while racing. It's just incredible the pace that he can maintain over race distance. The guy is, as you say, one of the best sim racers in the world, hands down. And I mean, I challenge anybody to come and try to take on Tallberg in any car. Give him a few laps, and this guy can take on just about anybody in the world. This guy is incredible. But Davis, trying to make up some points to have any chance at this championship, he's going to need to finish second here and hope that maybe Tallberg has some misfortune in the future. You never wish that upon other racers, but that's what he's going to need to have a chance at this championship here.
Yeah, I think Tallberg's one of those drivers where he could literally put him in, you know, maybe a Formula Ford and put him against a field of Formula 1 cars, and he still wouldn't come last in the field. He'd definitely be up there trying to challenge for a lower end position indeed. But right now, as you say, he's just running away with it. He's 4.9 seconds clear of Levesque, so that gap's extended by a tenth. Toby Davis 15 seconds away, so if he theoretically pits now, then obviously he's going to be around 2 seconds away on average between. That's what we're basing it off of the revised pit stop. But, of course, as you say, Davis needs to stop again. Well, unless he just he's taking a lot of fuel and then trying to rely on his tyres, but it should be a 2-stop minimum, unless it's a 3-stop. Even if it's a 3-stop, he's going to lose even more time, unless he can somehow get a miraculous tyre advantage. As you can see, Florian Strauss trying to be sucked into the vacuum which Davis has created. But right now, it's just not enough. And you can see how hard Davis is pushing, though, just by the sheer amount of smoke coming off the back end of the car into those tighter corners.
Yeah, and the thing is if all we'd have to do is pop onto Jesper's car, and I don't know if we'd see a single puff of smoke coming off that thing. It's like, it's almost like he's not even using rubber tires. It's some type of non-smoking type of contact to the pavement. As Davis drops a wheel, he is definitely pushing, but that's costing him because now Strauss is getting a little bit out of the draft there as Tallberg is into the pits. Let's follow along with him as Tallberg now heads down into pit lane. Let's see where he's going to come out, because I do believe Levesque has followed suit. Levesque is in the pits. Where is everybody going to come out? Levesque has gone by him just because his pit stall's a little further up as Tallberg's headed out. Who do we got on the right-hand side? Let's see what we got. Is anybody going by? Strauss coming through? No. Tallberg is going to maintain that lead and not drop a single spot. Strauss is there. Strauss has not pitted, so Tallberg through his pit cycle maintains the lead and is ahead of everybody. This is incredible. Considering that he started pole, dropped a fifth, and has now come back and is leading this race outright after the pit stops. Incredible drive.
Well, it's just something to see in Fairy Tale, and just this man just cannot be touched at the moment. We've seen him across 3 rounds as well, and as you said, if you compare that qualifying time from Spa and the one from this time, it's only nearly 4 tenths difference. And right now, showing race pace as well, as you can see, Florian Strauss still being hounded by Toby Davis. You can see how hungry he is, though, as he always looks up inside. That's a bit of a risky move coming down the hill, and he's trying to look. He'll be forced to the outside next time around, trying to get the cutback. He's using every part of the textbook right now of overtaking. He's trying to force every opportunity. He realises how urgent he must try and get past. He's got William Levesque quite a few seconds down the road, so it's just easy trying to duel away, but he's not going to be liking this. And I think he may as well rewrite textbook, because he's used just about everything involved in it right now, and a big slide there from Strauss could open the doorway. He's almost wiggled, and that was very nearly contact between himself and Toby Davis. But Toby just needs to try and find momentum. He's squirming all over the track, trying to just force an overtaking opportunity, and that's what makes this track so special. As you can see, I believe that's Chris Butcher going a bit wide.
Well, this is, you can tell that Strauss is under a lot of pressure right now because he's sliding the car around, and now Davis has got a great run coming out of the turn 1 into the draft, down into the keyhole. Toby Davis looks down to the inside of Strauss for second spot. It's going to be an easy move. He's going to be down the inside, late break it, and book it. Davis is through into second. These guys had a great battle at Laguna Seca, so they're picking up where they left off. Great racing between two of us. Strauss goes sideways, nearly loses it on the exit. But he manages to get the car back together underneath him. Strauss has not pitted yet, so Strauss needs tires. He's got to be struggling right now, and Davis is going to be coming up to his, well, ultimately his kind of quote-unquote scheduled pit stop for his, for another set of tires, because he pitted on lap 9. That was 10 laps ago, so if he took hards, he may have to go another 15 laps on that set if that is his choice. So expect him to lose another 14 seconds, some odd seconds, when he pits for the second time.
Oh, and it's not looking good for him right now. You can see Strauss trying not to let go, but those tyres are just eating away. There's nothing he can do. It's almost like you get to drive on ice towards those tyres. And around here, that's not the safest thing in the world, believe me.
No, not at all.
Just needs to try and get to pit lane as soon as possible. But Toby Davis 3 seconds away from Tallberg. I don't think a win is off the cards, but knowing Toby has to stop again soon, and that lead is just going to go plummeting in terms of Jesper Tolberg, and it's just going to, I'd say around 18 seconds maybe. 4 seconds already, so 4 cents there in just that quick update. I was looking at the moment like Tolberg, if he can keep that current pace up, they have this one, because it's now Jesper Tolberg who has that tyre advantage.
Well, and actually, speaking of like the pit stops and that, Levesque had a fairly bad pit stop because he came out and he's actually 7 seconds back now of Tolberg, so he lost a fair bit. He lost almost 4 seconds in that run there.
Yeah, that's not what he needs either. You can see Levesque there, 7 seconds back, still in P4 despite the incidents earlier on as he has waved through, and now Trice is at his sides on Florian Strauss. And of course, if his battle last time out with Toby Davis, anything to go by, this one should be just as good. I think Florian's definitely kind of made a name for himself this season in the WTM as being probably one of the most hardest people to overtake.
Yeah,
that was testament to that with Toby Davis just a few moments ago.
Well, but here's the thing: is Strauss is still on his original tires. Levesque is on fresh tires, so Strauss is going to need to get himself into the pits, I believe, unless he's going the whole race. Actually, there was someone had noted Ivo Simons had made a pretty good comment. I know, unfortunately, he went out of the race due to a disconnection, which very unfortunate for him. He did say that Jesper is only pitting because he can; he doesn't have to, and it's true. His pace was at the before he pitted, his pace was just as good as it is now with fresh tires. But look at the back. Levesque has got a great run here. You're going to see Strauss is going to slide through one. This is where Davis got him. He slide. Levesque's got fresh rubber. He's going to come up the track, get a nice draft. Maybe not going to get close enough into the keyhole, but he's going to get get fairly close. Try to keep a little distance so he can. He goes really deep into the keyhole, bumps him a little bit, sends him wide. What a late braking move by Levesque, but still very clean as he books himself into third position. Let's have another look at that, because that was a really nice move. Let's go on board with Strauss. Looking back from him, as you see,
intentional or not, that was incredible. As you almost
incredible move,
cheeky push there, but got that down. That was just showing the firm aggression that William contains, but as I say, intentional or not, that was probably the most exciting move of the race, and I think if I was a driver,
what happened here?
He's off!
Both of them are off! Both drivers are off! Let's see what happens. So Strauss, not thinking of it, he gets into the back of him, into the braking zone. Let's have a look on board. This is looking back from Levesque, and Strauss gets into the braking zone and just clips the back of him, and they both go off into turn 4. Oh, what a mess! I don't know if it looks like Strauss was considering a move, and as he moves over, he brakes. The car comes across, just gets into the left rear quarter. That's a very unfortunate move. I'm not quite sure what was happening there, because he brakes, the car moves a little to the left, and they both go off. So Strauss getting the worst of it, because he's back in 5th, and Levesque back to 4th, and Raubio taking advantage, moving up to 3rd.
Well, definitely have a smile on his face, that's for sure. If he can get a podium today, that's exactly what we were talking about, Keith. That one good result. As you say, he's got the speed there, but you just need that one result to prove that you can do it, and then it will just snowball from there, and the consistency will follow. As right now, he's around, say 9 seconds clear of Toby Davis at the moment. He needs to try and maybe get that down, knowing that Toby may have to stop again.
Yes.
It depends if he tries to miss the one stop or no, but I think Toby may not even get second at this. He does have to stop at least once more.
I believe so too, and actually, just thinking about the incident with Strauss, he is on 22 lap old tires, so there's a very good chance into that braking zone. That's the highest speed of the track there. There's a very good chance when he locked up, the car moved across on him. It's not something you normally see at a Strauss, but you can see how much he's struggling with that car. We've been talking about it for the past 5-6 laps of how much he's struggling, as he's now 22 laps in on a set of tires. A little further back, though, we've got Tveit has made his way back up to 7th. Fernandez having an incredible run up to 8th. They'd be extremely pleased. Matej Orban just holding strong in 9th. He's been top 10 the whole race here. Ika Roding, great run. I believe, I'm just going to have a look here and see where he slots in with how many spots he's gained. I believe he's gained 12 positions. Ika Roding has gained 12 positions. Qualified 22nd, is up to 10th position, so that's a very pleasing run for Ika Roding. Ethan Bass is up to 11. Mike Bell gained 9. Tristan Clark gained 9. So these guys, there's a lot of guys making moves. As Toby Davis is now into the pits, let's get on board with Toby and see where he's going to come out. He is now behind Levesque. He's behind Raubio. He's a ways back of these guys, but he has fresh rubber for the last 11 laps of this race.
Oh, indeed, you're on course. On lap 23 now, 34 laps total, and the time bomb is ticking away right now before it explodes. As Davis down to 4th, he knows he's got to try and get something more out of the car. And it'll be interesting to see what his thinking was behind that strategy in the post-race interviews, but he's definitely not going to be the happiest of men right now. P4, he needs to try and find something more. Whilst this is still a good result by anyone else's standards, he wants to be at the front of the field, challenging and trying to get that championship back on course, because if Jesper Tolberg does this one, that will be a further 20 points to add. And, you know, that's another victory on him. So he's on 60 points already, so I believe that'll be on 90 points overall. So Tolberg's effectively just done a clean sweep of the first races.
Well, and I mean, we've kind of just distanced ourselves from Tolberg, because he has distanced himself from the field here. He's 16 seconds clear of Rauvio, who is having an incredible run. Right now, it's the distance between Toby Davis to Rauvio is just over 6. It's 5.4 seconds. Okay, 5.4 seconds means about half a second a lap for him to gain. That's a lot, but Rauvio will slowly fall off a little bit as his tires start to fade. But he still has to get by Levesque, but I can't quite see Levesque giving him a hard time, just because Levesque did miss an event, and they are somewhat teammates, but not so much in this. But Davis has got a long way to get back to Rauvio, and Rauvio will be just pushing here. This is him, like, he is glowing right now, trying to pull this off and possibly take a second spot here.
Oh, indeed he will, and he would love it as well. And of course, he needs to try and as hard as he possibly can. And I think maybe just try and challenge Jesper Tolberg as well in future races, but evidently I don't think it's going to happen this time. At Rauvio as well, he wants a good result, and he's definitely going for it as well. Currently P2, and having William Levesque kind of dismiss Florian Strauss, if you will. He's currently down in P9. He'll be looking to try and extend that to one more place and get that second position. Coming second place behind Jesper Tolberg is definitely a respectable feat indeed. Let's see what Rauvio can do there, because, you know, we say a good result can spark off consistency. Second place is more than a good result around here.
Oh, for sure. And actually, Strauss, after his pit stop, he's way back. I mean, he lost a ton of time going into the pits, so we need to. You're going to see him come through the field here in the last 10 laps, but it's a shame. It's a shame that he's dropped so far back after having such a good run headed up. I know they had to contact him and Levesque, but Levesque obviously managed to get himself back going again. So the worst of it went to Strauss from that incident, and I'm sure was just him locking up headed in coming out of the keyhole into turn 3.
Yeah, indeed, and he's got to really try and just leave that behind him now and push on, see what he can do from there. And look at Matej Orban as well, to P8. He's had a great run so far, so we'll see if he can try and park his car there at the end of the race. Just taking a look at him now in that number 2, and he's trying
all over the back of
Fernandez. And he's coming up towards the keyhole now, looks to the inside. It's a very risky move on the outside, as we saw earlier. We didn't want to see it with Levesque and Strauss all over again, but up the inside, a much cleaner route through. We've got some side-by-side action just in front as well. I don't think that's the position though, and that should be position done. Yes, it is. Orban up to P7, a thunderous result so far as he disperses Luis Fernandez and sets his sight onto Vi, but no, he's not giving up. Luis Fernandez tries back around the outside here. It's a drag race in towards that right-hander. Is he going to sweep it round? He's broken a lot later. He'll have the inside line coming up the hill, but he just and that's, I think Eric Device dispersed that one out 2 lap cars. I think both of them managed to somehow survive with unscathed damage, but definitely an alarm for sure.
Oh, that was a little heart-stopping. Could you imagine? Fernandez comes out on top, gets through Orban while they split the defense there. Again, they came over the crest of the hill there, and it was just all of a sudden blind. And it's good they both got through, because now they can continue to battle here. It was Matthews and Motoram had just got into each other, but good on them to just, you know, evasive maneuvering and then just carry on racing just like nothing happened. But look at Orban, very racy, trying to get by Fernandez. Fernandez has got to be happy with a great result here, sitting in the top 8. Orban trying to put that Volvo into the 7th spot, take it away from Fernandez.
Yeah, let's see what he can do there as Orban just tries to get that one back, and it's a great battle for sure as they drop away from the leader as well. 42 seconds, that just shows the sheer pace of Jesper Tolberg up front. I'm sure you don't need us to reassure with that fact, because he just run away with this one as Orban looks at the inside. Bit of a lock-up from Fernandez. They dive down the hill, and he's trying to get that inside line, but slips around as Fernandez. He will have that bit more momentum as you take a look on board, but he's got plenty of time now to try and get back in the slipstream and try and move, but I don't think he's going to be close enough this time, and I think this will be one of those race-long battles which we could see last for the majority of the final stint, and a bit of a lock-up again there. But it's no stranger looking up on this track. It's a very nice opportunity. That's never going to work, surely. And now it's a heart-throbbing moment there. Heart in mouth. Goes at the inside here. He's trying to tear open that opening textbook of overtaking opportunities. And just rewrites it himself. And he tries to get up the inside. And he's relentless right now. I mean, he just cannot find a way through. Fernandez is throwing everything at him. And Auburn's really having to think outside the box, maybe even outside the bubble wrap, but he just cannot find a way through.
He's thinking outside of the facility. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a pass completed there. He tried in every spot. I've never seen a pass get made there, and he was close to making it, but all the while this is going on, you've got Florian Strauss closing in big time, who has fresh tires. He's a little kind of, just trying to recover from that incident that he had with Levesque, as Orban just constantly looking to go down the inside as he's using a little too much curve. But I think what's going to happen here is that Strauss is going to get a good run on him now and probably take him down into the keyhole. As Matej Orban goes to the outside, Strauss looks down the inside, fresh tires, fresh rubber. Orban defends hard. Strauss just gets squeezed a little bit. Not going to like that as you head down this back straightaway here, down through 3, which is the kink here on this straight. Strauss is going to get into the draft of Orban, and that Volvo is going to be a bit of a sail out there in front of Strauss. As Orban goes defensive, Strauss to the outside. Can he go around the outside on Orban into turn 4? Orban locks up. Contact a little bit, it looks like. Strauss is good. He's got the inside into 5, up over the hill, and he's good. Book it. Strauss through, and Orban still trying to hold off. It's not going to happen. Too wide. Unbelievable racing. They managed to keep it together through what should be a one-lane race there. Incredible.
How do you maintain that much confidence in your car, knowing that you're not going to make contact? You saw a bit of a wobbly Florian Strauss there. Now sets his sights on the back of Luis Fernandez, but again, just absolutely incredible racing here. Nothing less than expected at TPS. Mount to curb a little bit up the inside, a big lock-up, and he tries to make it move. Questions will Orban go through. Oh, yes, he does. They're both through. They're both through. And Florian Strauss goes P7. Orban's 8. But look at Fernandez trying once again to get that one back. We'll have the inside for turn 1, providing he can get that momentum. Will he do it? He's trying. He just can't get it done. But that, again, was just a fine example of overtaking.
Incredible.
And these three are leaving it all out on the tarmac this afternoon.
Incredible. I just got informed that we've got the battle here that we've been expecting that would be coming. Rauvio has slowed a little bit. Levesque is on the back of him. As Levesque, you can see they're sliding up through 5. Rauvio is now going to feel the heat of Levesque and Davis. Rauvio has never had a Touring Pro Series podium, and this is going to be a hard-earned one if he can pull it off, because you can see he's struggling, and now he's got a mirror full of Levesque. As Levesque gets sideways, they both do. They're both just right on the ragged edge. Rauvio in the 635, the 2 Sierras are closing in. It's a menacing sight for him, and Levesque is going to be trying anything he can to get through, as Davis now has some fresh tires. And Rauvio pitted on lap 15, so he's going to be on very, very old tires here. This is going to be a tough battle for him. For him to pull off a top 3 here, it'll be well-deserved.
Yeah, and just thinking as well there, just look at that sea of blue behind him. Toby Davis is closing on them. He's around a second away at the moment, but nonetheless he's just looming there. Popcorn out, best view in the house for this battle, and I'm sure that he'll be definitely taking notes on how Levesque is trying to go for that manoeuvre, and a little bit of a cheeky nudge here, I think, as Levesque tries to find something more. We've only got 5 laps to go here, so desperation may just start to sweep in a little bit. But right now, though, Rauvio knows what he can do. He's got to try and get that podium here. It'd be so disastrous if Davis could. I think Davis could maybe here even take 2nd place. I wouldn't write him off for it just yet. Well, it's a bit of a wild card strategy. He's there, and if anything happens between these two, we're more than happy to pick up the pieces, put them together again, and make a 2nd position out of it.
Well, I mean, anything can happen. Rauvio could be. Right now, we've got the Sierra. What I have noticed here actually is the Sierras are. They seem to be struggling with the drag at the end of the straight. They're not quite able to get that draft and pass maneuver going on. So it's almost like they need to wait for a mistake. And I mean, how can you not make a mistake when you've got that much pressure on you? Levesque, you could literally throw a blanket over these 2 cars as Levesque slides through the penultimate corner. Rauvio is just defending. He's using all the inside, and down the inside goes Levesque. Rauvio, he's out wide. He's got the inside for the last corner. Rauvio done. Levesque is through. Ravio falls back to third, and now he's in the clutches of Toby Davis down into turn one. Levesque has taken second spot. Ravio going to try to make his move back, because if Davis gets by, he might not be able to have a chance at this podium if these guys can get clear of him. Davis is in the draft, headed into the keyhole. Ravio in the draft of Levesque. Davis down the inside of Ravio into two. He's got it. Ravio goes wide. I don't think Ravio's going to have the traction on the exit of the corner, and Davis is through. Book it. Ravio back to fourth, Davis into third.
Let's see what Davis can do from here, though. He's hungry for that second position. He knows he can get it as well.
Look at the draft, though. This is what I was just saying, is the draft. Ravio may be able to slipstream as Davis down to the inside. Nope, Ravio not able to get there.
Oh, it's gone down. He's those big slides there. And Ravio goes right on the inside to try and capitalise. Oh, he hit him! And his spot is on the curb. He's just kept it out of the wall. But a massive moment. And that surely destroyed any chance he had of a top three position. Disastrous stuff there. But looking out front, Davis has somehow, I believe, got in front of William Levesque.
Oh, what's going on there? The Levesque is off!
Levesque's off! The William Levesque on his son has been on, he's rescued it, but Davis just wrestled his way.
We're gonna see one thing here. We're gonna see. I want to pull this back, and I want to get on board with Ravio here. Let's see what happened here, because Davis goes down the inside of Levesque. Little contact. Davis eases off. Ravio down to the inside, and Levesque's up top. Ravio gets into the side of him because I think he got pinched there, because he's up the inside, and he's there, but Davis comes across on him, and Ravio doesn't really have anywhere to go. I mean, Ravio's going straight. He's on the curb trying to make the corner, and Davis comes across. So as that happens, now you got Levesque. These guys are sideways, and Levesque is in the back of Levesque gets into the back of Davis, I believe, just a little further up, because Davis gets air. This is what we were talking about. The car goes weightless. Davis gets on the throttle. Davis goes sideways. Levesque comes in. He gets into the back of him, drops the wheel, and almost around he goes. So a very eventful couple of seconds here. Levesque now into third, and Davis into second. But I mean, look who is 26 seconds ahead, Liam.
Oh, yes, Tobo just been thoroughly unmatched yourself, Sonny. We had a bit of doubt, though, after Davis kind of scampered away into the distance after that opening lap travesty, but he just turned that right around and come back in the lead of the race. And that'll be his third victory for three with 2 laps to go. Davis again had a comeback, though. We thought that strategy wouldn't work. I mean, it was such an early pit stop, but he somehow made it stick and forced his way back up into second place. A real heroic drive by Davis nonetheless, but he's not going to be concerned about that one. What he will be concerned about is it's 3 from 3 for Tolberg, and 3 times Davis has not been able to get past him.
Yeah, and actually the funny thing is that what has just been pointed out to me is that Levesque's strategy of his pit stops would have been faster, and he actually would have been well ahead of Davis right now if he had not got into the incident with Strauss, because he lost probably a good 5 seconds, I'd say, Liam, maybe if not more, 5 to 8 seconds, because he was fully off the track at that point. So, and also the fact that he had the battle with Ravio, so Levesque would have been the guy in second, and easily ahead of Davis, and I believe he lost about 11 seconds actually. So that would have been the right strategy.
Yeah, and I think, well, nonetheless, though, it's definitely going to earn, yes, for Tolberg a victory, and Davis 26 seconds clear, as we say. I think there'll be a few ifs, buts, and maybes, but one thing which could be potentially for certain is that he could come away with a victory here, and Davis will have to settle for second. You can see battle here again. Iker Roding made a good start up into P11. He'd love to snatch a top 10 in the final moments, so Bruno Souza Ferreira not too far away. They're definitely keeping him in close company as they go in towards the keyhole. I wonder if there's maybe a last chance saloon, if you pardon the pun, manoeuvre going on here. Well, Bruno would love a top 10.
For sure. I mean, well, Roding's sitting right now in 11th with Aznagi a little further up. Tolberg is just actually pitted one more time. I think that's a little salt on the wound. I don't think he needed to pit. I think he just did to maybe close it up a bit. But I'm going to run through the field quickly here. We have Iker Roding slides there. He should be okay. He's good. Just loses a spot. So is Bruno Souza Ferreira running in the 11th spot. Great run for him. Iker Roding in 12th. Steve Davis in 13th. Jay Adji battling hard with Davis here near the end in 14th. Chris Butcher had a rough start here, got into the incident early on, up in 15th. Still having some fun out there racing. David Yunt 16th. John Monroe in 17th in his in his debut here in World Touring Masters. Ethan Bass up in 18th. Jeff Dobbing and him are having a bit of a battle here to finish out the race as we're coming to near the end. Kevin Enderman in 20th. Mike Bell 21st. Tony Matthews 22nd. 23rd is Tristan Clark. Jonathan Okerklint is 24th. And in 25th we have Mataram, Ivo Simons retired, Adam Vaughn retired, Raul Pereira, Dmitry Botnarenko, and Lee Palmer all retired, and I believe Lee was early on in the race. But Jesper Talberg taking that pit stop, I believe, to run for the fast lap of the race here. He probably pitted. He knew he had a lot of time, so he goes out and he gets himself some soft tires. And I believe this is what he's doing. This is like a victory lap. This is a parade lap for Talberg as he comes around now to start the penultimate lap. He is going for the fast lap here. He wants to be the quickest guy in this race, take the pole, the fastest lap, and the race win. A little cheeky, wouldn't you say, Liam?
Well, you could call it cheeky, but I think he's, as you say, he's already proved his dominance here today, 3 from 3. But again, it's just as a racing driver as well. If you succeed, you just want to do it even further. Right now, he's definitely not rubbing salt in the wound, but may as well just pour the whole can out because it's just showing how fast he is. And as we said, a car which no one perceived to be that competitive, he just skyrocketed that one beyond all belief and really taking his car performance to a whole new level and just shows how confident this guy is.
Sorry, Florian Strauss has just DNF'd. Florian Strauss has just DNF'd. I wonder if we can catch what happened. Let's just see what happened there. Oh, let's see if we can see what happened. I don't know if we can or not. No, I think he just disconnected, actually, because there was nothing to show there. But Talberg out there trying to run on the fast lap here. He's out here on the penultimate lap. We'll give him his due as he comes across for the start to the finish of the race. But Davis with Levesque a little ways back of him. There's not really much battling going on now because everyone seems to spread out a little bit. But the battle between Fernandez and Orban still going. This has been going for the past 5-6 laps. These guys have been battling back and forth, and it's Orban getting back by Fernandez again here. I think he was ahead for a bit. Oh, sorry, Talberg. That was the end of the race. Talberg takes the race win. That's Talberg taking the race win here for his 3rd win in as many races. Talberg dominating this series so far as Davis crosses the line in 2nd position. 3rd position is William Levesque, a hard-fought 3rd for him. A little unfortunate for him with the contact with Strauss. Yunus Ravio in 4th. And let's get back to Orban and Fernandez as these guys are going to be crossing the line here. Fernandez has lost the spot to Orban. They're coming up through the last few corners here as Fernandez drops a little bit. I don't know if he's going to have anything. Orban gets away from him, and he's going to be happy with a 7th place finish here as he comes through the final corner. All he's got to do is keep the throttle underneath him. Don't let the car slide too much, and he will take a nice, well-earned 7th spot in the Season 2 championship-winning car.
Yeah, and it really is. I'm happy with that when you can see in there just dancing. So I'm sure Orban and Fernandez will both have the utmost respect for each other after that one, because that really was almost a champion's drive, but one battle they can look back on. Bruno gets himself in the top 10 for P9, and as Nagy finishes in 10th and of course rounds out the top 10, Ike Roding just missed out in P11, and there you can see the rest of the cavalry coming. Chris Butcher came in 12th position, Steve Davis 13th, Jay Adji in 14th. But just noticed there a bit further up the field to right, after all that catastrophe at the start of the race, has got himself back up into the top 5, so sterling job by him there as the rest of the field go through.
Yeah, great finish for a lot of these guys. I mean, Yunus Ravio will be very pleased with a 4th place finish, very close to a podium. He will be really pleased with that. It's very unfortunate for Florian Strauss for disconnecting. It's unfortunate because he was in the championship hunt and looking for a good run in this championship. But we have these guys finishing off. We're going to get a few guys for some post-race interviews. So if you just sit tight, we'll be back in just a few minutes and we'll get a word with some of our drivers. So please hold tight.